Hi, Jose Monkey. Can you find me?
You asked me to figure out where this video was recorded, so I did. Hi, I'm Jose Monkey, and I find people who ask to be found. Guys, I know that as soon as some of you see this video, you're going to know where it is. But I didn't know, so it was still fun for me to try to figure it out. Check out the video.
Hi, Jose Monkey. Can you find me? I'd love to know where your previous nearest one is.
So what can we see? This person asks to be found, and I immediately suspected that they were on a cruise ship. I say that based on these railings that we see, and also the fact that we can see a dock here, and they appear to be over the water. In the background, we can see a couple of towers here. One of them has a clock on it, and the other one has what appears to be a weather vane. I'll come back to that. On the ground, near the docks, we can see the names of several different places written here. Canada, Utah, a few other places. They turn the camera a bit more, and we can see the water here, and also a nearby shoreline and some buildings. And that's really about it. What's the matter?
I wasn't going to say nothing, but we're very close to a blocking penalty here.
How close?
It looked pretty bad at first, but the Monkey Tech Blockmaster 3000 says it's only like 44% blockage.
Okay, so we're good?
Yeah, it's good. But I'm watching you. I need my dog pictures.
Okay, moving on. This is a rather distinctive looking location, and the fact that cruise ships apparently dock here tells me that this is probably a place that's been highly photographed. So if you are a lazy person who doesn't like using your brain to solve puzzles, you can go ahead and pause the video now and use Google Lens to tell you where this is. Now I did not do that. I looked at the clues in the video and tried to figure it out that way. Now like I said, the one tower that we have here appears to have a clock on it, which is pretty standard, but the other one looked like a weather vane. And I had never actually seen a weather vane quite like this one. It has a pretty standard looking weather vane mechanism on top, but then each side of the tower appears to have a face with cardinal directions on it. So I suspect that there's some mechanism that connects the weather vane on top to the hands on these faces so that you know which way the wind is blowing. I just thought that was kind of cool. Anyway, as I was looking at this weather vane, I noticed something. We've got letters that mark the cardinal directions, but at the bottom, where I expected to see an S for south, we appear to have a Z. Similarly, on the right, where I expected to see an E for east, we have the letter O instead. Now that seems significant to me because that told me that this is probably not an English-speaking place. And whatever language they speak here uses words that start with O and Z for east and south, respectively. I thought of German at first because I know that the word for east in German is Ost, but I quickly ruled that out because the word for south in German is Süden, and even though that might sound like a Z to English speakers, it is spelled with an S. So I knew German wasn't right. But I didn't know off the top of my head what language might have a word that starts with Z for the word south. So I just played around with Google Translate a bit, asking it how to say south in various different languages. And it didn't take me long to figure out that the word for south in Dutch is Joden, and the word for east is Oosten. Okay, so if this is Dutch, that suggested that this might be in the Netherlands. So guys, I googled weather vane on tower, Netherlands, and the very first result I got was this. And guys, that was it. You were here in Rotterdam, in the Netherlands. I was able to verify this place pretty easily. Like I said, it's a highly photographed location, so there was no shortage of photos. I even found a user-submitted photo on Google Maps that appeared to be taken from a cruise ship that was not far from where your cruise ship was. They were a little farther from the dock than you were. So out of curiosity, I tried to go off on a bit of a side quest to figure out why we have all these different names of places painted on the ground here. But I wasn't really very successful in finding any authoritative information about that. One thing that I found on a random travel blog was that the names of these places were references to places that immigrants sailed to from this port historically. And perhaps that's apocryphal, especially since we have Utah prominently featured here, and Utah is landlocked, guys.
Nah, taking a boat to Utah is crazy.
So if you happen to know the actual history here, I would love to hear more about it. Okay, before I reveal the closest previous location, I just want to say one other thing about this place. Like I said at the start, some people probably looked at this video and knew the location right away. After all, it is a major European city. And perhaps you would say that that makes this a less interesting place for me to find. But guys, I've never seen this place before, so it was interesting for me to try to figure it out. I looked at it, tried to figure out which clues in the video would be most helpful in figuring out the location, and then I made some deductions to help me figure out where it was. And that will always be fun for me, no matter where it is. And I think that's what most people enjoy about these videos. It's sort of like if a teenager discovers an old band for the first time. You know, they come to you with their phone and say, oh, I heard this new song, check it out. And they play like Smells Like Teen Spirit or something. Now, in that moment, you could be like, duh, it's Nirvana. But you could also recognize that they just discovered something that's new to them and they're excited about it. And you can choose to be excited with them or for them, or you could choose to be smug about it and make them feel silly for being excited about something. It's really up to you.
Or just let people be happy about stuff.
Okay, it's time to check which previous location was closest to this one. And this time it's a place I found in Season 1, Episode 82, in Lille, Belgium. That's about 76 kilometers or 47 miles away from this place. By the way, for everyone running to the comments to tell me it's pronounced Lille, you can just stop it because this ain't France and that ain't how you say it. I implore you to Google it before you post a comment. This happens every time I mention this place. Oh, one more thing. I mentioned elevation in my last video because I thought it was a fairly high place, though as it turns out, it's definitely not the highest place I've found. Anyway, this location is similarly notable because like 85% of Rotterdam is below sea level. But I think I'm going to make a quick follow-up video to talk about elevation, so keep an eye out for that. Guys, go check out the map of all the places I've found for you so far from the videos you've sent me. If anybody else wants me to find them, record a video where you say, "Find me, Jose Monkey," or something like that on camera, or hold up a sign that says something similar. And don't forget to tag me in a comment on that video.